Alan Clements Uncensored. Thank you for listening to my podcast. A few notes about the presentation. After years of scripted talks, many of them methodically outlined, some even memorized, at least in part, I decided to drop that style and simply speak spontaneously from my heart. So that's what I do. My talks are raw and improvisational. I make them up as I go along. In addition to my World Dharma talks, I also offer at times readings from my books, Instinct for Freedom, A Future to Believe in, The Voice of Hope, and Wisdom for the World. I also offer readings of my personal notes, sometimes guided meditations, dialogues from my World Dharma public forums, interviews from radio and television, and sections from my show, Spiritually Incorrect Meets Relationship Incorrect, The Great Reckoning, and the occasional conversation with someone I find interesting. I also want to express my deep gratitude to the people who have made donations to me, either a one-time or recurring donation, either on the support page of my website, alanclements.com, or pledged a monthly amount as little as $1, perhaps $3 or even $5 a month, through my Patreon site. If you're inspired to do so, you can support this podcast and my work by making a monthly pledge at Patreon. That's patreon.com, patreon.com/Alan Clements, and there you'll find my page. You can use a credit card or pay through PayPal, and your monthly pledge, that's what it takes, just a few minutes to set up, allows me not only to do my work, it allows me to create my art, use my voice, speak my Dharma, free of commercial consideration or advertisers. Thank you from my heart for taking the time to listen to my podcast, and thank you for your generous support. I hope you enjoy the presentation. So, good afternoon to you, all of you here. To those of you who will be and are watching wherever you are in the world, greetings from Ubud, Bali, Indonesia. We're here in the afternoon of the third day of this very intimate space, along with a virtual sharing or virtual retreat. And the title of these days for me have been World Dharma, which was born out of my time in Yugoslavia during the war, based on the folly of ideation, religion. I could see, looking at mass graves, that I could be the persecutor and the victim. It was where I dropped religion. It wasn't cliched, it was where I could see that I could do the very thing I judged and spent my life trying to overcome. If given enough incentive, I could be moved beyond my comfort zone, my values and principles, and to defend, even possibly violate in the name of. So I stopped even the most sacred relationship I had to Buddhism at that time. World Dharma became synonymous like with world music, where people get on the same stage and do something uniquely different to create something they've never done before. Never been done before Dharma was the way that I figured the best way to protect me from ideation, ideology, fusion with ideas, to do things Ubuntu-like. I can't be who I am without you. And what we discover together is brand new. So, World Dharma and the global crisis is to me the evolutional edge of my being right now. I don't have a desire to bring in history and theology and memory, although they're there. And I'd like to share at this time, which had been the basis of my last 50 years, which has been meditation. And to provide, hopefully, a simple overview of how to make that concept, meditation, an accessible experience wherever you are, so that you feel that you have a reference point, a basis, a refuge to hold your mind in heightened states of composure, of calm, a place where you can find and abide in peaceful reference to complexity, where you can feel the wisdom of a right decision versus a wrong decision, a skillful thought, an action, or a speech versus an unskillful, unbeneficial thought, speech, and make it accessible as a living, breathing experience to the extent that you're inspired in your life, so that you have this timeless wisdom to engage your mind and body with whom you're with. Meditation isn't just a singular activity to self, as I was taught by my teachers, the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw of Burma. There are two forms of meditation. There is one of self-liberation, where mindfulness, the quality of intimate self-reflective presence on the six sense doors, the eye, the ear, the nose, the body, the mind, where one sees this passing show of phenomena clearly as it arises in the moment, and one begins to see the arising of fear, greed, or anger, and relaxes that. And when one sees the arising of joy, goodness, truth, freedom, compassion, kindness, patience, one sees that and begins to discern through intelligence, mindful intelligence, the good from the bad, the right from the wrong, the skillful from the unskillful, to act or to restrain from the action, to continue the thought that's beneficial or to abstain from that thought that's unbeneficial. And the second form of meditation is what I was told, which is liberation through world relationships, a form of Buddhist-centric South African concept of Ubuntu. The Buddhist concept is more bodhisattvic, bodhisattva, bodhisatta, which, taking it out of the theology of Buddhism and Buddhahood and all that, it references to, because I am with you and you are with me in this context right now, what can I do with my own mindful intelligence to bring an interactive awakening to this space, so that both I bring my best and you bring what you bring, and I deal with that edge and take it higher. An interactive, mindfully engaged, shared space meditation. Because we're, pause and make it real. We're always in relationship, fair enough to say. I can't live, you can't live without the air, without the earth, without food, without shelter. We are interactive by nature of being born in this world. The second form of meditation takes it out of the context of simply eyes closed or walking or standing, and where the reference point is watching the mind and the body move in the moment. Meditation is the practice to inhabit with mindful awareness present time experience as it occurs, and we're bringing an awareness to that occurrence. Simultaneity is a key concept, so that when I am reaching for something mindfully, meditation is coordinating an awareness with that actual movement. Take it throughout the day. When I bend, I notice my arm bending. You could make the mental note, as I was trained, when we do what we do, to coordinate the mindfulness to inhabit the arm and feel the sensations, not the arm moving, but the physical sensations of movement itself. We're mindfully aware of that flow. And while we're moving that arm, we can make the mental note, which is like 2% of our attention, stretching, stretching, reaching, turning. When we look at something, meditatively, we can note looking or seeing. The eye sees color, it sees form, it interprets
color and form to be a woman, a person, an environment. That's a thinking process. Meditation is to notice color on the eye, relaxing deeply into the body, if I will. The eye doesn't see externally. It's dimensional, but the eye sees on the eye. Take the light out, we can't see. Oh, awareness of conditionality. It isn't just being in the moment. It's an awareness that holds shared space to see what's occurring in that moment for it to arise. Conditions upon conditions. And at the same time, the simultaneity of being aware of the very fabric of experience itself. Conditions arise, independent often of our own volition, and they are subject to change. We don't know when the last breath will come or the next breath. We don't know when the earth will perish, when we'll die. We're always in this evanescent sea of what's called anicca. So meditation isn't just for personal peace, it's for the evolution of a cellular, if you will, Dhamma intelligence. So we look and see in the moment. If you need to remember what's being said, what am I doing now? Ask yourself, I'm standing, Alan. What is bringing meditative awareness to yourself in that process? Not too dissimilar from embodied yoga. And there's a willingness to be natural in your meditation, rather than formal and obviously contrived in my inauthenticity to be a meditator. But coupling mindfulness in the moment with what I'm doing, we co-join with that process, if you're inspired, an aesthetic, a taste, an artistry, an ease of being, a quiet, as it's been said, a quiet, carefree dignity. Meditation is, okay, it's attitudinal as much as it is states of consciousness. So we include all facets of consciousness and mind and body to bear upon the present moment phenomena of seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, thinking, feeling, thinking, imaging, thinking, touching, feeling. Oh, conditions arising, changing, empty of self, noticing pre-intuitive thought, awareness of thought, back to the body. Allow the flow of insight to occur without fixation. So meditation also is the practice of non-fixation. Oh, that's a really compelling thought. I really want to hold it. How elegant it is. Nice to meet you, intuitive thought. I trust of the source of where that came, not only in my own mind, but in this earthly kingdom of totality. May I evoke pre-intuitive revelation. Meditation isn't just being present, it's the action, the dynamic existential action of evoking revelation. Because we are entities of miracle. And so who knows in this very moment what we could discover? It isn't just a human being present with cutting the vegetable, drinking the tea, very Zen-like, which is cool. But there's a type of prosperity, if you will, in this type of meditation that excites the deeper psychical recesses of possibility and of imagination and wonderment and awe. May I encourage you to encourage me. Where is the factor, the emotionality of awe in the face of crisis? You're asking yourself, Alan, to bring unthinkably impossible emotions to the edge of darkness. I dare even quote someone to talk about the value. It's only when it's dark out do you see the stars. We know who said that, Martin Luther King. Yes, yes, yes. So we are warriors at the edge. Meditators are warriors. They're savants. They're existentialists. They're humble. They're human. They're attempting to understand what it means to be human. And we're employing these timeless techniques that aren't necessarily Buddhist or Hindu or atheist. They're trans-religious, trans-traditional, trans-lineage. Consciousness is consciousness, irrespective of gender and country, saying the obvious. So hearing these instructions, we come right back to the basics. Okay, to repeat what I've been saying, meditation is twofold: being aware of self, figuratively speaking. Whatever I do, I'm walking. Whenever you're walking, there's no need to get in a hurry. You can walk quickly, just moving, being aware of your body, physical sensations, the yoga of movement, dance, stillness, cutting, bending, bathing, washing, being so elegantly careful with that flow that you just bring an awareness and composure and an artistry and aesthetic, a tenderness and intuitive openness to the edge of the moment with what you're doing. And not that we're doing something uniquely different, except that we're choosing sometimes meditatively different postures to sit in. Formally speaking, there are 4: sitting, standing. You see many people in meditative countries standing meditation, sometimes for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Some people will stand for an hour or two, focusing inside the body with the eyes closed, letting the breath breathe on its own, noticing standing. Sometimes the firmness of our feet making contact with the marble here, noticing touch or pressure and heat, and just watching the internalization of sensations and consciousness and being in that flow, watching and knowing and seeing and feeling and gripping and history and memory and projection, and you notice all those machinations. So in another way, meditation is the action of inclusivity. Include that too is an instruction I heard so many times. Are you with me? Include that too. When? Here. How? Embody. Here. How? Internalize this awareness like oxygen. The light of awareness, let it infiltrate your blood, your body, our neurons, and it has the function to see, to feel, and to know in precognitive, pre-intuitive ways. You really hear as it is. And you get to be in the actuality of what's unfolding, so that when you're eating meditation, reaching for the food, you can note reaching, lifting, opening the mouth. Not many people really notice the mouth opening and the food being placed on the tongue. Take a meal or two once a week or once a day and put it on your tongue, lower your arm. Feel the pressure, notice pressure, sensation, taste, heat, coldness, salty, whatever the taste is. Texture is a very keen thing to meditation. The desire to chew, the intention to chew precedes the action of chewing. I don't think I'm going to chew yet. Intention. Wow, I can actually intercept this organic necessity habit of eating. And actually, I don't even need to eat right now. I'm not even really hungry. And you just lower the fork and go, wow, I don't need that cigarette. I don't need that drink. I don't need to have an eating disorder. I just totally overcame it by seeing that I have choice. I'm empowered. And so meditation has a radical, beautiful way to intercept unrecognized.
That has been Alan Clements Uncensored. Thank you for listening. You can find the entire list of my podcasts at alanclements.com, along with my books and upcoming events and live broadcasts. In addition, you can also book a private session with me if you wish by phone or Skype on the website. If you're a regular listener or simply feel moved to support my work, you can make a one-time donation or a recurring donation, a tax-deductible one, in any amount you feel comfortable, either on the support page of alanclements.com or a monthly pledge through my Patreon site at patreon.com/AlanClements. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and thank you for sharing word of it among your friends and on social media. Thank you from my heart. Until the next time, blaze on with fearless love.